Hey everyone, today I wanted to talk a little bit about these new buffs coming to the game. I wanted to do a video on this a lot sooner. I've just haven't been in the great headspace for it. I don't want to do this video and discussing this kind of stuff where I was at mentally. Anyway, I wanted to do this video for a long time. Then obviously we got the new video from Sega themselves from the new Halloween Teresia being her animation, and they actually implemented this in the game already, so it looks like they're coming to the game, so might as well do a video on them now explaining them to a certain extent, because it is speculation until we actually fully know. But I have the video here. We can take a real quick look. First of all, my thoughts on this Teresia: probably not going to summon because I don't have any of the other two green units, although she does look great. I like her sprite, cute. And then her animation was very cute. I'm actually very pleased with this animation. It looks, it's really simple, but it's actually super adorable. I absolutely love this. And the way that she hits you while she's doing that face, it's so cute. I think this character is great. I'm really excited to look at her art. You get a little sneak peek there. But looking at her kit, she has the distraction on her single attack. They're all single attacks, but on her basic, she's got a passive. Then she has, I believe, fatigue. I always get that one confused, but this one doesn't allow you to get buffs. This one's distraction, recovery seal, and debuff immunity blocker, I guess, because you can't get debuff immunity anymore. So then we have, or debuff immunity seal. I think that's a good name for it. And then we have agility down, as you can see. And then in one of the other tweets, if I can escape. In the other tweets, you can actually see a zoomed up version. This is one of the JP whales that I constantly go to for news and translations. Is his opinions on the game and stuff like that. He does a lot of calculation. He did a lot of calculations a lot early on. He's really high echelon PvP stuff. So I always look to this guy for some guidance when it comes to the game. So as you can see the agility down this time around actually has 2 arrows down, and these are some of the icons of the files that they've been in the files for a very long time. Again, I've been meaning to make this video for a long time. I just wanted more information on it, and we got some. So as you can see, we have these debuffs and buffs, and what originally I had thought was these are new buffs and these are new debuffs coming to the game that can potentially stack with the already currently existing buffs and debuffs. So that was my theory on it, and I talked to Rep a little bit about this when we first saw these images, and it seemed plausible. But now, reading the whales tweet, as we're going to go into here, it makes a lot more sense that this is going to happen instead of what I had originally thought. So reading the tweet, also these debuff symbols, it seems all the large of buff and debuff will be replaced with double arrow icons from tomorrow, and the difference in actual effect and the difference from now should be more clearly understood by experience. Again, this is Google Translate, so if it doesn't make any sense, then it's just that. Actually, can be immediately found in Total War. The reliability of the operation, which was said to be a normal reflection of the current difference, will drop again. Form 0. Yes, it's a little jumbled up at the end, but what he's essentially saying is these aren't new buffs, they're just new icons for already existing buffs. So what he's talking a little bit about here, if you remember my Should You Summon for Mimi, we're going over her debuffs and stuff like that, and this one says large. So we currently don't really know how to tell the difference between a large debuff and a normal debuff. A large debuff obviously being a debuff that is more effective, like this attack down. Theoretically, let's say it's only 30%. This large one is a 50% attack down. So we didn't really know how to tell the differences, besides I'm assuming actual translations, what it says on the actual skill, because I'm assuming that's how these guys know, with translations and stuff like that. So I'm assuming you just have to read it, but in game there was no indication of what type of buff this was or debuff. So I'm assuming now that these new icons are going to be for those big debuffs and buffs. So now we're just going to be able to see what kind of debuff we're getting applied with or buff we're getting applied with. We're going to know more or less the exact percentage, whether this buff or debuff is good or bad for us. So it's just basically a quality of life thing. It's kind of wild that they never showed us this like at all. Like we just had buffs that were just better than the others, and then debuffs that were just worse than the others, and they just never bothered with indications. So this is really good. And then he's talking a little bit about Terajia. We're also going to talk about her a little bit because we don't know too much, and I don't want to speculate too much until like we actually get information, which should be tomorrow or something like that. I don't know the exact date. I actually didn't look. But then we have what looked to be like her doing a 60% additional damage is what he said. It has a 60% additional damage secretly. Is it the passive performance, which could be the passive here, or is it the actually new hammers? Because we do know that the hammers have an additional attack value, so we could be getting the new hammers. Potentially also why we have 2 subjugation events back to back. They could have been, getting these new hammers ready, because they did say that the hammers were coming soon. They showed them off in the live stream, but then I don't think we got any news off that. I don't know if we got a date or not. It's been a while. Maybe I'll go double check after the video, but we could be getting those new hammers into the game too. So just be aware that this new all-out war could potentially be a huge one, considering that the hammers are coming out potentially. So looking at that again, the 60% extra damage could be from the passive, could be the new hammers, and yeah, that's a little bit all I wanted to talk about. I want to see if they actually have the debuffs here, the large and normal ones. Let's see. No, it looks like there's only one of each. So yeah, I'm assuming this is probably going to get updated with the new update that actually indicates which buffs are and debuffs are large. So just keep an eye out for those new characters, and probably already existing characters like Mimi. Again, she already has like a bunch of large buffs and debuffs on her. I think they're just debuffs. So she has large attack down as well as large crit rate down. So that's pretty strong, but we have to compare them with exact percentages from the normal buffs and debuffs. I don't think they'll be too big, but probably like really solid. So that's gonna do it for the video. Just a quick short one. I wanted to talk a little bit about these. I've been wanting to do it for a long time. Didn't really have a lot of information to go off of, so I've been kind of putting it off. And then recently again, I've been putting it off. But yeah, so that's gonna do it for the video. I'll see you guys next time.